Hello, guys. I'm Sarah Bajini, the co founder of Careervine. My journey in tech actually started way back when I was in university. I think at the time I was 19. I started my career in tech as a marketer. I used to work as a content marketer, social media marketer for a company who had a tech department. And then after that, I was given the opportunity to work as a product manager. I was given the opportunity to oversee product teams, developers, designers. And when I started working in this role, I felt really excited because I've always been a bit curious to know what it felt like building inside, like what it actually felt like to build a product that people are actually going to use. And this was where my love for tech and software products and even hardware products actually came from. And then came the early days of ChatGPT, and I decided to take a chance on myself and build my first ever tech company, an AI marketing agency, with the goal of building an AI marketing software along the line. So the business ended up not working out, but in the process, it taught me yet another important lesson. I wasn't just interested in offering services to people, but I actually wanted to build a software product. So instead of giving up, I actually decided to try again. And this time around, I was going to build Uncut AI, an AI video editing tool. And then I got to see companies from different parts of the world, Europe, North America, Australia, showing interest in a product that I built as an African. It really confirmed my idea that even as Africans, we can build products that can be used on the global stage. Earlier this year, I decided I was going to go all in, and then I and my co-founder set up a tech company to build products that are going to be built by Africans, but also going to be used on the global stage. So when people ask me how tech changed my life, my answer is pretty simple. Getting into tech gave me a sense of purpose, gave me the opportunity to take ideas that once lived in my head and watch them become real products. Tech gave me the chance to solve problems at a scale that I never would have possibly imagined. If there's one thing I hope that every woman watching takes away from my story, it's this. You don't have to know everything before you begin. I certainly didn't. And you do not need permission to build. If you're curious, if you care about solving problems, and if you're willing to learn, there is definitely a place for you in tech.
Hello, everybody. Good. It's still morning. No, it's not. It's afternoon. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So please confirm if you can hear me. Say hello if you can hear me. Can I see your emojis? Can you hear me? So, welcome to day two of the Hard Tech Wealth and Influence Summit. As yesterday, we had wonderful people come on here and speak to us, and it was quite an interesting experience. So before I begin, I'll properly introduce myself. I am Chira Sylvia and I'll be your host for today's event. So starting off, I'd like to know if you were in attendance for um, yesterday's part, the part one that was yesterday. Kindly notify. I'd like to see your comments. Hi. I'm seeing all the hi cheerers in the comment section. Hello. So if you were a part of the program yesterday, please notify. I'd like to know if you participated. Oh, that was lovely. I'm seeing Jay. Yes, I did Amola Genius. Okay. So how was it? How was it? One word. With one word, tell me how it was. What was your experience? What is the one word you would use to describe yesterday's session? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yes. I was there. Yes, beautiful. Adedamola says it was mind blowing. JJ said it was propelling. Interesting. I'm loving these responses. It shows that the reason why we're doing this is actually working, and I'm glad that you guys are taking a lot of beautiful things from it. So Ikoria Obehi Elizabeth said it was really beautiful. Favor said it was inspiring. That is lovely to hear. So as always, when Womenpreneur calls for something, you should expect excellence and you should expect to be going home fully loaded. So before I move on Today's own. I've introduced myself. I've told you guys. I don't know if you guys know who I am, but if you guys have been attending a lot of the Womenpreneur events, you would know my face. But and if you knew my face, you would know that okay, there has to be like groundbreaking session, and I've told you about it, and I've spoken to you guys. So tell me, you said it was mind blowing, it was propelling, it was inspiring, and it was really beautiful. And I am so glad to hear all of that. Now, today's session is not going to be anything short of all these words that you've used. Yesterday, we had speakers like Ashley Emmanuel speak to us. We had Vicky Ogenevo. We had a lot of people who came on here to give us a different perspective on how to build in tech. So today we're going to be having a list of wonderful people come speak to us, and we're going to have a panel session and a fireside chat. So, but before that, I want to talk to you guys about Womenpreneur. So, Womenpreneur is the organizer of this particular Her Tech Wealth and Influence Summit. And Womenpreneur has been doing this since 2018, and they've changed the lives of about 5,000 women. They've had multiple cohorts, and they've taught different digital skills to these women. Not just teach them and leave them, they teach them and give them a community to grow and shine. And it's just a beautiful thing. And can we put our hands together for Womenpreneur? It's not something that's easy to do, but it's something that is required to do. And we've taken up as Womenpreneur, I'm part of it, of course. We've taken up the baton, and we're running very much with it. And it's been quite an exciting experience. And can we put our hands together? I want to see you guys clapping emojis in the comment section. Good, 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 good. I'm seeing Favor's hand. I'm seeing Favor's hand. So we've been doing this for years, and there's been more than an impact. There's been a huge impact on the different communities that we've affected, and it's a thing of joy to be a part of such an organization. And putting your hands together is putting your hands together for Miss Vicky Ogenevo, who this was her dream, and through her own dream, she's making a lot of our dreams come true. And the reason why we're here overall. So now we have, like I said, a lineup of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful speakers. A lineup of wonderful, wonderful speakers, and I will introduce them one after the other in a short while. But the very first person that will be speaking to us today um, goes by Oluchukwu Chiadika, but she's not here yet. So let's do something. So out of everybody that spoke to us yesterday, who would you say you really admire the most? Like somebody that what they're currently building resonates with your own vision most. I want to see your comments in the comment section. Had we had Dima, we had Sarah. So tell me, among all these people, who inspires you the most? Who would you say that, okay, this what she's building, what this person is building is something that I would really, really, really like to be a part of, something that resonates with my own vision, your personal vision. So tell me in the comment section. I'm waiting. Okay, JJ said Victory Ogenevo. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is beautiful. So Victory Ogenevo. Then Favor says Victoria. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So I'm still waiting for more of your responses before I ask a further question. I want your responses. In fact, I want your responses to be versatile because I know that everybody is not going to be inspired by one particular person. So I want your responses first, then I would ask a follow up question. So far, we have gotten Victoria Genervo from JJ. The second person says Victoria, and then another person said Victory. I'm guessing that I'm guessing that the Victoria that people are calling is actually Victory. So nobody is building something like something that looks like Ashley's um semicolon company. You guys must have been like, must have obviously you were inspired by a lot of what she told us. I personally was inspired, but I want to know your vision, what you're building. Whom does it resonate most with? Tell me about that. And I've gotten victory so far. So tell me more. You guys tell me more. I really want versatile answers. So I've gotten from JJ, I've gotten from Favor. Whom else? Okay, so from JJ and from Favor. So my first question will be going to JJ. So what exactly about victory? What is the one line that you would say sat with you when she gave her speech, when she spoke? What is the one thing that sat with you that made you like wake up today and I'm asking you who inspired you the most and you're saying victory because her vision aligns with yours. So what is the one thing that you're taking home with you from everything that Victory said yesterday? I want to hear that from both JJ and Favor. Hello, beyond the classroom. You're saying good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So I'm waiting for you, Favor and JJ. I'm waiting for your responses. I'm waiting for your responses. Waiting for your responses. Oh, Favor. Favor says her confidence and her vision to build others, her selflessness in a word. Hmm, that is beautiful. So I can attest to what Favor says because I know Victory Ogenevo. And truly, her confidence is beyond inspiring. Her vision to build is excellent, and her selflessness is something that is not spoken about enough because it takes one thing to have a vision to build something for yourself, but it takes true compassion to want to make sure that the opportunity that you've gotten, that you have yourself, that you want to make sure that every other woman around you gets to have that type of opportunity too. And that is exactly what she's doing with Womenpreneur. And it is beyond inspiring. So I agree very much with you. I agree very much with you, Favor. So, okay, okay. So I don't know who this is, but your username is Beyond the Classroom TV. And is Beyond the Classroom TV. And your response is that her resilience is what really inspired me. Yes, yes. Victory is very resilient. I mean, there's this story she always tells, and she told it. And the story is like where she talked about how she she was she went for an interview. She applied for a role and she went for the interview. And when she went for the physical interview, they found out that the Victory Ogenevo is a woman. And she did not like think it of anything. Like, yes, Victoria Gene, but I'm a woman. Like, and they're like, we can't employ you. And she's like, what do you mean you cannot employ me? They're saying they're saying that, oh, that we can't employ you because you're a woman. We thought you were a man because of the name. So imagine that, as much as at that time there was already such a gap for the women. There was already such a gap for the ladies. Like, you might be qualified, because for you to even get to the interview level, if you've looked for a job here, obviously you know what I'm talking about. You got to that level, you've reached all qualifications, but you're denied access into what you want to do just because you're a woman. So building from that is just it's iconic behavior, I'll tell you. The resilience, because a lot of people would have had that experience and be like, yeah, so they said that women belong in the kitchen, and so they'll go back to the kitchen. But the resilience comes from the fact that, okay, you said I can't do it, watch me do it, and even more. You said I can't get here, watch me get here, not just alone, but with other women behind me. And it's such an iconic behavior, if you ask me. So JJ said that Sarah Obaduni. Okay, okay, okay. Sarah. So tell me, JJ, what about Sarah inspired you the most? I'll give you a little time. Tell me what about her inspired you the most. Waiting for you, JJ. I want to know what inspired you the most about Sarah, and then we'll move on to our first speaker. Okay. So, so JJ just responded. JJ just responded. JJ just responded that the way she thinks about building products and bringing it to life because she's in tech. Hmm, beautiful, beautiful. So, JJ, I agree with you. See, the thing about building in tech is that at every step of the way, you'll always find people who inspire you. The thing about being in tech in general is that every step of the way, you'll find people who inspire you. So you feel like you've passed a certain level, you'll find people who are, already like building beyond that level and doing what the world itself is going to marvel at. And it's such a privilege to be a part of this. Honestly, I've been saying that from my personal standpoint. It's such a beautiful thing to be a part of this. So thank you, JJ. Thank you, Favor. Thank you so much for participating. Now we're going to be moving over to our speakers. So our first speaker is available now. So kindly join me to welcome Miss Oluchukwu Chiadeka. Please confirm that you can hear me. Hello. So our first speaker will be joining us right away, Miss Oluchukwu Chiadeka.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Oluchi. Welcome aboard.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me see if I can see the comments. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Chira. Good afternoon. How are you
Hello,
today?
Oluchi. I'm good.
Mm.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me? Okay, so I'll give you the floor, Oluchi. So welcome. Thank you
Oluchukwu.
so much. Oluchuku.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, and it's such an honor to be in the midst of women. And this particular event is one very dear to my heart because it pretty much intertwines or put together every single thing that I love at the same time. We're talking about tech, we're talking about wealth, and we're talking about influence. And my talk is really, really short because oh, pardon my manners. My name is Oluchukwu Chiadika, and I am the founder of Your Personal Finance Girl, which is a digital first financial literacy platform. And we pretty much empower young people to do better with their money. Think about making more money, think about investing, think about budgeting, money management, all those things that they used to say that you don't understand, but you need in your life. That is what I do. And you would think that that is all, but on the other time on other days on Monday to Friday by 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. you're going to find me doing marketing, and I work in a tech company. So that's why I said that this particular summit event is very dear to my heart because it pretty much puts me in a I'm in a kid. I'm a kid that is inside a candy store right now because this is every single thing that I do, right? So I'm going to just do like a very short keynote, and it's going to prompt you to look at ways or pretty much hold on to tech and also look at ways to build wealth with tech, right? So I started my career doing like regular marketing, just brick and mortar things, right? And little did I know that I was going to stumble into tech via community management. And in doing community management, I realized that this is where I'm supposed to be. I did that at a fintech, and then another fintech, and then another health tech. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I also realized that I had a flair for money. People come and meet me to ask, oh, what should I do? Should I invest? Should I save? This deal is somebody's telling me to do this thing. Should I do it? And all of that. And it made me realize that okay, there's something here that a lot of people are not taking note of. And I can tell you for free that between my first role and then 3 years down the line, I was already earning times 10 of my income. So this now made me realize that okay, it's not enough to answer people's question. It's not enough to be growing in your career doing tech. You also need to find a way to make better choices with the career that you're doing. Because obviously, I don't know, I would love a few answers if possible. How many of us here don't want to make money? Or how many of us here know that tech is actually the new oil money? Because this is one of the fastest growing industries so far. And this is the industry that can make you earn six figures in dollars with very little experience. So I need to find out from those of us listening, how many of us here want to make a lot of money? How many of us here want to make a lot of money? And while I wait for your responses, right? As I was telling I was talking about my story of how because I was growing so fast in my tech career, my income was increasing really, really fast, and it meant that I had the right opportunity and the right example to either um make better choices with my money. See, I'm seeing a lot of meals. Yes, yes, yes. To make better choices with my money so that I can grow this wealth, so that as I'm building my career, as I'm growing in the career ladder, I started working in tech as an intern. Currently, I'm a head of department. I lead a department currently. If you're working in a regular 9 to 5, let's say an FMCG, that kind of growth you're not going to get in 5 years. You're looking at 10, 15 years to get that kind of growth. So tech is that place that is going to help you to grow really fast and make a lot of money. So in making a lot of money, that is where the personal finance now comes to play, because you don't now the beautiful thing about tech is you don't have to code to make a lot of money. You do not have to be a developer to make a lot of money. You can literally use your current skills, being a what's it called, product manager, project manager. Use your current skill, being a marketing person, being an operations specialist, and still grow as fast and earn as fast. In fact, you could literally even be working for international clients from the comfort of your home if you have good internet. Right? And when this money comes, you want to ensure that you are right where you are meant to be. So, what are the things I'm going to give you? I'm going to show you 4 different pillars that tech has shown or that would help you to be able to build wealth, and it is left for you right now to hold it. And I'm very sure that everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice right now, whether you're live in the summit right now or you're listening to the replay later on, you can literally apply this to your life. And let me tell you for free, tech is not just only creating new jobs for people, but helping us to become owners. With the advent of AI right now, you can literally, I mean, literally start building a product. You can literally start creating a solution that you can, okay, you can use. Okay, you can literally start creating a solution that people and solve a problem that people have and get paid for it. And very well, all of us talk about fintech. While I was preparing for this session, a few, I think not even up to 10 minutes ago, I stumbled on a video of a particular problem that somebody has, a lot of entrepreneurs have, and somebody was saying, can somebody build it for us? Guess what? If you're that person that builds it, that is you literally setting yourself up for generational wealth. The next thing is that for every skill that you have currently, even though you think it is not useful, your public speaking skill, your problem solving skill, you can use it to grow in your tech career. And if you're growing in your career, obviously you're going to be earning a lot more money, right? So the people will be like, okay, I like solving people's problem. There is CS inside tech, and you can literally come in and add all of your technical skill and all of your other skills together, and you're making money. And then most importantly, there you can actually start building proof for yourself, proof of concept, proof I can do this by volunteering, by having your side hustle, by documenting your work in public. And this is one thing that I was able to do using my business, because my business started as a personal brand. It was just me sharing the things I knew about wealth. And in fact, all the jobs I've ever had, I never had to apply for it. Why? I had proof of concept. People have seen that, okay, this person is talking about this thing and this person can do it, right? So, this is what I'm going to leave with you today. This is where I'm going to be wrapping up this conversation of how you can make a lot of money and how you must look at ways to manage that money for yourself. Because inside the same tech, you can literally start as an intern, and in less than 5 years you could as well be leading a department. You could have as well become a founder. So one thing I've realized over time is that it is your mind that will limit you. Because if you're putting yourself and applying yourself and people around you know what you are doing, there's a very high probability that at the end of the day, you are going to have much more in return, in network, in assets, in income, just for you alone. And the only place that I know for a fact, I have seen the results, I have seen different people in real time do this, is through coming into the tech space, right? So there are so many founders that go and check, that have raised a lot of money. They've not stayed up to 5 years in this particular industry, right? So bringing it back to everybody here, right? Let me see. Bringing it back to everybody here, I know that we have students listening to this, people transitioning listening to this. I'm sure there's somebody here who has a 9 to 5 and okay, there's a summit, I want to learn more. One very, very, very doable thing that you can do right now is to expand your mind, is to look at people in this industry that you like. What's it called? Chira, the moderator, already even started doing it. What are these people doing? What have they done? And how can I get there? Funny thing is, by looking at their journey alone, you can literally see things that you yourself can start doing in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And as far as or as long as you are implementing those things into your life, building in public, telling your story, ensuring that you remain visible and you do exceptional work. I'm going to end with a very short story though. And you do exceptional work. I can guarantee you that building wealth is going to happen. You growing in your career is going to happen. And guess what? If you grow in your career, you start to drive influence. Look at all of the speakers here. They have something in common. They all have influence. And how did they build that influence? By showing up, by people knowing about what they do, by ensuring that they do good work. You're not going to find anybody that is influential that does not do good work. So, as I will end on this particular tone, on this with this particular story. So, an acquaintance of mine has a particular job that she does with a finance company, and it's like a contractual role where she's not an actual full-time staff. And the HR was arguing with her about the role, that the thing she was doing. And guess what? She kept on sticking to her ground, like, this is what is supposed to be done and this is how it is done and this is what I'm happy to do. I'm happy to spend more hours. Guess, you will not believe that this particular person was able to get another job, like a side gig again, because she was showing up and showing up well. This is more money to her. This is more growth for her. So if you have listened up to this point, I want you to ensure that at every point in time, you look at yourself and you want to grow in tech, you're visible, you're doing what you're meant to do, and most importantly, you're growing your income as you do all of this. Thank you all so much for listening. And yes, I think I'm going to hand over the microphone to the moderator. Thank you all.
Hello, hi. Thank you so much, Oluchukwu Chiadika, for that wonderful session. It was beautiful. I picked a couple of things for myself. I don't know about you guys, because yes, I'm hosting, but at the same time, I'm grabbing as much as I can. It was a beautiful session. Thank you so much, your personal finance girl. She deserves that name, because obviously. So from what she just said, please, you guys, don't play with me. Like, you need to be fast. Tell me, what are you taking away? Because me, I have my takeaways. I'll start telling you guys my takeaways while I'm telling you guys my own. Type your own in the comment section. So she said something like that stuck to me. She said, use your skills to grow your career. And then that was right before she talked about the skills that you overlook and all that, like public speaking and all. How and the fact that you have to also show up to build influence. There's never been more truer words. I attended a session like this, as related to my work yesterday, and it was about career navigation and all of that. And I can tell you that this is something that everybody keeps saying. It's not cliche, it is actually the truth. You keep hearing these things over and over and over and over and over again because it works. That is what they did. And they're telling you now that if you want to build and become like just like them, as successful as they are, you actually have to follow these same steps. Maybe not exactly the same, but there's already like a pathway, there's already like a guide telling you that, okay, for you to build wealth and influence, you have to use your career, you have to do exceptional work, and you have to be known for what you do. You have to actually show up. And these are truths that have worked for a long time, and they keep working. And you see people who follow them every day, they're rising. And we are so privileged in this our generation to have access to information the way that we do. So, like I said, I wanted you guys to tell me what you picked up, but because of time, I'm going to be very fast about it. So, from JJ, she said, JJ said he picked or she picked build proof of concept. Beautiful. I picked that to build proof of concept. Then she also said, and then use your career to gain influence. Exactly. The fact that I know what I'm doing, that I'm showing you that this thing that I'm doing should make you want to be like me, should make you, I should have influence based off of it. It's such a beautiful take home. Then Bola said, my takeaway is visibility. Always show up in whatever you do. Always, always. Today, you might just be figuring things out bit by bit. Tomorrow, you'd be excellent at it and you'd have been showing up, and people would have seen that you've grown, and they can't take that away from you. So, somebody said, my takeaway is to open your mind to learn new things. Perfect. Then, my takeaway is that limitation is in the mind. I'm so glad that you guys are taking up all of this. I'm glad that you guys are eating it up. So, but because of time, let's move on to the next. So, next we'll be having our panel session where we'll be having two wonderful people come speak to us. So, first of all, we would have Mr. Daniel Friday Okodi, popularly known as Danzor. He's going to be part of the panel session. So, I would read you his I'll read you his bio. So, Mr. Daniel is a Nigerian creative entrepreneur, award winning content creator, and a digital strategist. He's the founder of Publicity House, and he has a platform focused on helping brands and individuals amplify their voice through innovative media and storytelling. He's known for his originality and strong digital presence. Mr. Daniel has received recognition and awards for his impact in the media and creative space through content creation, strategic communication, and technology driven projects. He continues to shape conversations, influence culture, and empower a new generation of creators and entrepreneurs in Nigeria. So, Mr. Daniel Friday Okodi is going to be the first person on our panel. So, please put your hands together while I introduce the second person that will be joining our panel. So the second person that would be on the panel is Sarah Idahosa. And Sarah is a versatile professional distinguished for her proficiency in Web3 community development, educational initiatives, and decentralized finance research. She's the Africa Partnership and Sales Lead at Mansa, that's MANSA, a stablecoin liquidity provider backed by Tether. That is revolutionizing payments in emerging markets. Sarah is also the esteemed founder of Women in DeFi, a Pan African nonprofit organization that empowers women through education, access, and leadership in blockchain and decentralized finance. Under her leadership, the organization has impacted over 8,000 ladies since its inception in 2022. Through her stewardship, Sarah facilitates seamless connections between individuals and the manifold advantages inherent in the Web3 landscape. Drawing on a robust background in blockchain education, Sarah is deeply committed to facilitating individuals' transition from Web 2 to Web 3. So, with a round of applause, with a sounding and resounding applause, let's make welcome Daniel and Sarah to the panel session.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon. Sorry, good
It's,
afternoon, everybody.
it's okay.
Hello, welcome Daniel, welcome Sarah. We are so glad to have you guys here with us today. Welcome to the panel session. My name is Chira and I am the host for today. So, welcome aboard.
Pleasure to
Thank you
meet you,
very much,
Chira.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, I have a couple of questions that I'm going to be asking. Hope you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you
I
guys
will. I will
excited?
do this.
So I actually really want to know. I want the guys watching us. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Because me, I'm excited. I genuinely want to see how this goes. So the first question is the first question goes to Sarah. Sarah, Does visibility actually build wealth or just attention from where you sit in finance?
Okay. Pleasure to meet you, Chira. Thank you so much for this session and good afternoon, everyone. To your question, does visibility actually build wealth or just attention, right? Um, I would say both, right? It goes both ways. That it gives you attention and it also builds wealth. And this is my reason. For someone who got into blockchain in 2020, right? I at that time it was through community trying to like connect with people virtually and whatnot, right? And people knew me on some of these WhatsApp communities, some of these WhatsApp group. But I would say that what actually skyrocketed my career, what actually gave me the attention I needed was when I started like on my WhatsApp stories because at that time I was not so big on Twitter. I was on Twitter, but not very big on Twitter, right? I was always posting whatever it is I was doing on my WhatsApp. I was trying to like spotlight whatever little wins I had. Then from there on, I moved on to Twitter, where I was always like talking about my experiences, talking about things I was like working on at that point in time before bringing it up to LinkedIn. Now, one thing I noticed is that it first of all gave me the attention, right? More people got to know who Sarah Idausa was. More people got to know what I was doing. More people got to know, okay, when we even started at Women in DeFi, what actually made our community blow up was when we had our first virtual space on Twitter. It was more of like a Twitter spaces. At that time, Twitter just started doing it. And it gave us a lot of visibility. Now, the wealth part did not come until that visibility was there. And this is what happened. The first event I went for was because someone invited me. They noticed that, oh, I go to events a lot. Some of these events are not tech associated, but they're like, oh, you do so well. You should attend this event. And I went to that event. When I got to the event, they did a session whereby it was more of like a Q&A session, right? And the people who got the answers correctly, they had to win a prize and stuff. At first I was shy. I didn't want to come up to speak. But by the time I went up on stage to represent my team actually won, right? And we got a prize. Now, coming out from that stage, first thing I got was, oh, we love the way you spoke. We would like to know more about you. Can you please give us your email address? Now, this was from one of the organizers of the event, right, that I attended. And that was how they were like, oh, are you on Twitter? Right? Like, you on Twitter? Let's see. And then I showed them my Twitter account. They're like, oh, wow, you're pretty popular in the Nigerian crypto space. We can see the people that are following you and like the people you're following and stuff like that, right? That was how the interaction went. Now, the visibility put something in their mind. It showed that, okay, I was active. I was active in my ecosystem, right? I was not just behind the scenes, right? And if you ask me to date, I will tell you that that sort of like gave them an impression. And not so long I noticed, on LinkedIn, you can always see who viewed your profile now because LinkedIn will
course we
announce
can.
it. And then I realized that two members of the team also checked my LinkedIn profile that same night. 3 days later, it was a call I got. They wanted to do an interview with me. They wanted to employ me. The next thing, I got a job offer. Just like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
Just like that, right?
Just like that.
Just like that, from an interaction, a physical interaction, to them seeing my social media pages. And the next thing, you're like, oh, I'm someone that would be great for this role. And the role was more of like a forward facing role. You're like, oh, if you're doing this, then you would definitely be able to like handle this. Now, from that role, one thing I didn't stop doing was I was always building in public. And from building in public, aside that opportunity, I got several other. In fact, I would say most of the biggest opportunities I've gotten in this space, right, in this tech space, all came from building in public. And that is why I will always advise it, right? If you're good at something, be out there. Because I have seen people who are not even so good at it, they still build publicly and they keep getting
I know,
opportunities.
right?
So how much more you are knowledgeable about a particular discourse or you're knowledgeable about a particular topic and you're keeping things inside, the world wants to hear from you. And before, like, from being public, you're able to get opportunities, and from these opportunities you're able to build wealth. So you see how visibility gives you not just attention, but you're also able to build wealth because the opportunities you're getting from there, if you're able to compound these opportunities, let's say you're someone who saves, you're someone who invests, right? The funds you're getting from all of these opportunities you're getting, the paid opportunities you're getting, it would in turn help you build wealth and take you to wherever it is that you want to be. So again, I am one person who will always say build in public. It has been a thing I've been doing since I started my career. This is me 5, 6 years into the tech space, and visibility is something. In fact, I wouldn't have known Vicky Ovo if not for my visibility. I mean, I wouldn't be here today if not for visibility purpose. So yeah,
True. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah. And I completely agree with that. Visibility is very important for both opportunities. And that particular thing you said about someone not being as qualified as you are, but they are visible. Visibility is a currency in this our generation, and we should do well to get it. So, my next question is to Daniel. Daniel, can you hear us? Confirm that you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So, from where you sit, what opportunities do you think exist for women in tech right now that many of them might not even know about yet?
Ah, a moment, there are a whole lot. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so blessed to be among women. when I when I shared the flyer on my WhatsApp status, people are like, why are you the only guy there? So I want to say thank you for this opportunity, and I'll just go straight to the point. So there are a whole lot. There are a whole lot. Just to mention a few. So graphic design, cybersecurity, what Sarah said earlier, blockchain tech, and all of those things, product design, product management, and all of that. So there are a whole lot. There are a whole lot. And one of the things that I would just say is that you have a smartphone. You have a smartphone app, a smartphone as a woman, and you have YouTube. YouTube is free. The only thing you're paying for is your mobile data. You have ChatGPT. Thank God for ChatGPT. You can search for anything that you think you want to do. There are a whole lot of tech, um, 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 opportunities you can learn, as a woman. Just look out for what works for you, and just milk it till you're tired, and keep milking it. Like, keep milking it till you're tired. I've seen a whole lot of people that have gone into content creation, people that do product review. You don't have to wait till somebody come and tell you, or come and spoon feed you to say, oh, you have to do this particular one. Like I said, look out for what works for you and milk it. What works for you, what you're comfortable doing, just look out for that particular one, milk it, and make sure you learn. Keep learning every day. Keep learning every day. Keep learning every day. Because at the end of the day, we have thank God for the development in this our generation, and the new things that are coming out every day. So you have all of these things at your fingertips. Leave TikTok alone. Stop sending reels to your friends. Just that time to look out for things that you can learn online. There are people that sell digital products online, tech products. See, one thing that would give you money is something that other people don't know. You have a solution to something that other people don't have solution to. Put it together, package it, and you make your money. And please, I beg you in the name of Jesus, like I always say, if you know you're not comfortable, or you have not learned that thing enough to pay your bills, do your 9 to 5 and do your tech, whatever, as your side hustle, until you get to that level where you're able to now switch, or you say you want to resign and focus on your tech career. I beg you in the name of God. Your break time, you can decide to use 30 minutes to learn a course or whatever. I'm sure most of these 9 to 5 guys, you have 1 hour break. In your 1 hour, dedicate your 30 minutes of every day to watch a particular episode or 2 episodes of whatever career you're learning. You know, Before you know, in 1 week you have finished, you have gotten your certificate, and start practicing. Don't watch 2 episodes and you close the course because you feel you're tired or whatever. So let me not talk too much. So there are a whole lot of tech opportunities out there. So like I said, look out for the one that you think you can thrive in, and die there. milk it, learn it every day, make it part of your routine every day, and at the end of the day you see results. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for saying that, especially the part where you talked about utilizing your break. Um, Saying something on that. But before I go into what I'm about to say, please in the audience, you guys type your question. Type your questions because we'll be answering your questions. Type your questions now. So I was at an event yesterday, and this whole thing about I asked the question, I was opportunity to meet like a top leader with Rekit and Benkisa and Benkisa, and he said something about what would drive you to have a job and at the same time go for the things that you really want to do is passion. It's passion that would make you sacrifice that your break time to study and to do something that would be of benefit for your future. So on to the next question. The question goes to Sarah. So Sarah, for a woman who has never heard of DeFi or Web3, where would you tell her to start?
Okay, thank you, Kira. I'm going to be biased here. If you're a lady here in this session with us, you've never heard of DeFi, you've never heard of Web3, I'll tell you to start with Women in DeFi. So, Women in DeFi is an organization that empowers young girls and women in Africa with skills to build a career in the blockchain space as well as that means it encompasses Web3 and everything around it. So I'm talking crypto, I'm talking decentralized finance, I'm talking about like if you even want to move in the fintech space, right? You get to understand how all of these things work. And you can join us at womeninify.org. There is a place there to join the community. I think we have a new training coming up with Busha, and the onboarding actually starts. It's actually today, so I think you're already too late for that. You'd have to apply for the next one. But beyond that, there are several other things because, like, I always encourage people within our community, right? Aside being here, you can also do so much more for yourself by going online. There is YouTube, right? You just need to first of all go and search for introduction or basics of blockchain, basics of Web3, basics of crypto. There are so many content out there, even on TikTok, right? There are so many videos on TikTok. I'm sorry, I have to say this because Daniel said something about you should leave TikTok alone. You should go learn a skill. Yeah, that is true. But one thing I've also come to realize as someone who is a creator and I consume content, same way I also create content a lot. TikTok is also a place where you can learn a lot of things. There are so many things that skills as well that most times I'm like, I don't want to watch it on YouTube, or maybe YouTube is like, fire open my YouTube app, but TikTok is always like the nearest thing I can easily just open. And if you type it out there, you will find videos, you will find content that would actually educate you on that particular topic. So for someone who doesn't know what Web3 is, for someone who doesn't know what blockchain is or what crypto is, most times when people hear crypto, the first thing they think about is Bitcoin. It goes way beyond that. I promise you, Bitcoin is just like a tiny 0.1% of what the blockchain is about, right? So you can go on YouTube to go learn more about it. You don't need to complicate things. Introduction, like just type basics of crypto or introduction to Web3 or blockchain 101. You will find content, you'll find stuff there that you could learn. Yeah, I think again, Women in DeFi has everything you need. You can join the community, and there you will hold your hands like a 5-year-old to educate you from the basics to mid-level and even to the advanced level of what blockchain is, of what crypto is, of what decentralized finance is. But yeah, I hope I was able to answer your question, Kira.
Oh yes, you did. You did. You did. Thank you so much, Sarah. This is if you notice when you're speaking, I'm writing too because I don't know about them. Yeah, I'm picking my own information. I'm picking my own information. So, like I said, guys, put your questions in the comments. It will be answered right afterwards. So, Daniel, I have your question here. So, please confirm that you can hear me so I can ask your
Yeah, I
question.
can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you. Please go
Daniel.
ahead.
So, your question goes like this. A lot of men say the right things publicly about supporting women in tech, but there's often a gap between saying it and actually doing something about it with the platform or influence they have. So the question is, what does real advocacy from a man actually look like in practice beyond the talk?
Can I shout praise the Lord?
Hallelujah.
Okay, so I'll start with this. So I support women who have value. Let's start with that. I support women who have value. If you check my page, you see I collaborate with random people. When your content makes sense to me, I'll accept it without even knowing you. That's me. That's me. That's to start with number one. Then I'll say this. Most men say things publicly just to get attention most times. To say, oh yeah, he's gonna do it. He's a guy, oh, he's a nice guy. That's so one of the things I would say is that develop yourself to the level where no man can ignore you.
Hmm.
Let me give you a perfect example. I met Vicky in church. I think I've shared this story before. So Vicky knew my dad before my dad died. My dad and Vicky's dad had, they were friends, politics, and all of that. But I've never met Vicky before. Vicky joined my church and she joined the media department. She had value at that point. I needed somebody to create content for me while I was the HOD supervising everything. I became closer to Vicky than every other person in the media team because Vicky had value. And ever since, myself and Vicky have been working. Now, why I'm saying this is that most women, if you want any man to help you, or support you, please develop yourself to the extent that nobody can ignore you. Why I'm saying this is that so you don't put yourself in a place where a man will just ridicule you or a man will just toss you around. Now, sometimes, if you check it, let's check it very well. The men that really help women are women that have value. You see co-founders, a guy, it's because she has value. Because at the end of the day, no man has that time to spoon feed anybody. I'm not saying it's bad to help people or it's bad to hold people's hands or it's bad to lift people up. I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm just saying is the people that have this influence would support you faster when you have value. When you have developed yourself to a level that when you approach them, someone like me, if you approach me for the first time and say, oh, my name is ABCXYZ, I do this, and this, I've done this. I will check your page to confirm what you have done. That means you have developed yourself to a level where you have forced me to check you out. And when you come to me and say, we want us to collaborate, why not? Why not? Why shouldn't I use my influence to push you? Because at the end of the day, you see, this our space is a very small space that you think you just ignore somebody yesterday, and tomorrow the person is coming with 500,000 followers. That's so I'll rather be part of somebody's story building up than now come to you later, to say let's collaborate. Now let me explain something to all the ladies here. I'll keep saying it. Keep showing up. That's number one. Number two, do not allow your gender to stop you from learning what you want to learn. If you want to learn things that men are learning, go and learn it. Go and learn it. Go and learn it. Compete where the men are competing. I'm telling you how this thing works. I'm going to give you a perfect example. When we started this whole Instagram stuff, I had some ladies I was looking up to. They were posting like back to back. They had followers. They had a community at that particular time, and I would always go to them and say, "Oh, let's collaborate now. Post my page, let people follow me, and all of that." But there was something I noticed. I noticed that they were only supporting people who had same number of followers as they did at that particular time. People who had value, either vendors who were selling, other people who were content creators coming up. So me, I was just there doing nothing on social media. I just wanted followers. Because that time, if you had followers, you're a big boy. I just wanted followers. I didn't have a direction. Nothing. So I didn't have a direction. Fast forward 2 years later, I now have more followers than they do because I now have a direction. I now do content. I now do there's nobody on this call that has not seen my content before. You must have seen my screenshot on your WhatsApp status. You must have seen Daniel Friday Cody from Twitter. You must have seen something. Do you understand? And make sure that I push myself to a level that nobody can ignore me. When I enter your DM now and say hello, how are you doing? By the time you check my page, you're not checking my page because I'm posting funny stuff. You come back to me because I have value and you want to listen to me. So, dear women, before you wait for a man to push you, or before you wait for a man to publicly say, I want to support you, please develop yourself. I will keep saying this. Please develop yourself. Let me give you another story. When I started my first real estate company, I was employed as a content creator. When I started working, I also do graphic design by the side very well. The graphic designer of the company was a lady. So when SA saw me, what SA did first was she went to search for me on social media and saw that, oh moment, this guy is there. So she was scared they employed me to replace her. So we're having a one-on-one and she was like, oh, that she thought they employed me to replace her. And I said, no, they employed me to be a content creator. You're the graphic designer. And after a short while, me and Essie started collaborating. I'll get jobs I'll give to her because I also had other jobs I was doing apart from my 9 to 5. So I couldn't ignore Essie because she had value. She had something I could push her to do more. You understand? So I won't publicly come and say I'm going to support somebody who's going to stress me. How can I mention your name in room that would change your life and your destiny and you don't have anything tangible to show for it? I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to talk anybody down, but I'm saying have value. Make sure you have value that nobody can ignore you. Same way as a beautiful lady, you're going out, the way you package yourself, you look nice, you know, your wig, you revamp your wig and all of that, that when you pass by, people would notice that you have passed. Same way you should have value that when people stumble upon your page on either Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, they would want to take time. Do you know there are people that take time on your page and they scroll to like the very end? Somebody reached out to me some days back, I think last week, and she said, I like the fact that you are the only influencer that I can tell when you're okay, when you're fine, and you are real. That she went to my early post on Instagram and she saw that I tried different things that did not work until I started doing what I'm currently doing now, and I have engagement on my page. If that person didn't see value, she wouldn't take her time to. I think I have 1,000 plus posts on my Instagram. You know what it is to scroll 1,200 posts to check what the person is doing? Same thing applies to everybody listening to me on this call. Have value. That's the only thing I can say. Have value. And at the end of the day, do not wait for anybody to push you. I'm not saying it's bad for people to push you, but keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself, because at the end of the day, what real advocacy means is for me is mm, adding spices to soup that's already on the fire. So if you have value and add spices of, okay, do ABC XYZ, okay, I'm introducing you to this person and this person. At the end of the day, you're only riding on whatever you already have. I'm just adding to what you have. So if somebody's coming to say they are supporting you, that means you already have something that they are coming to support. Do you understand? So there's nobody that will support another person except I don't understand English again. So if you're coming to support somebody, that means the person has something already that you want to add yours to, so you can make it better. So I think with this little point of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so sorry. I just want to add to what you said. I don't know if that's allowed. Yes, great. Thank you so much, Kira. So based on the question, which is basically how the male counterparts can support women, right, in tech space or in the space overall, what it actually looks like. In addition to what he has said about you having value as a woman, which is very important, is the key of everything, because if you don't have anything, there is nothing anybody's going to be able to work with, right? That's one. Another thing I would say, as someone who has a women organization and I work directly with a lot of our allies, our male allies, to support in our programs, I would say if you're a man listening to us, because I know there are men in this session, it's not only women we have here. I would say other ways you could also support is by opening the doors. So you could actually see meet someone with value, and you could potentially have the opportunity to help that person, support that person, and you would be feeling, should I really do this or should I not really do that, right? As a man, the one way you can actually push people, because I know a lot of ladies who actually have the knowledge, they have the value, but they do not have the access. If you're a man who have the access, being able to open the door for the woman around you who you know that they can actually deliver the work by recommending them to people, recommending them for jobs, recommending them for opportunities. If you have access to an investor or people who could actually fund women programs, there's nothing wrong with you being the loud voice in the room, speaking on behalf of these women, right? That's one way. Another way is by creating job opportunities. Like if you're a founder, right, try to employ more women in your company, right? There are roles that we know you know that a woman can actually occupy. Not just even a man can do it, a woman can also do it, right? But most times you'd be like, oh, the truth is, if I hire a woman for this role now, by the time she now gets married or she gives birth, she would not be active, she would not be able to do that. No, you shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, even the man you're employing, she be him too will not still have children. Though he's not the one that will give birth to push the baby out, but he will still have the children, right? Don't say because the person is a woman, you're not going to employ them. I think a few days ago I have this male counterpart in the tech space who reached out to me and told me that he was trying to employ someone, actually a week ago, that was trying to employ someone for a role at his company. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll share it. I collected the requirement from him and I shared it within my community. I think a few days later, he came and he was like, oh, he has not really gotten a lot of applicants like what he was expecting. I was like, yeah, the problem is that the job is at Ibadan and we don't have so many people at Ibadan that would likely occupy this. But is there any reason in particular why, anything in particular you're looking for? And I was marveled when he said he is trying to make sure that his company is more inclusive, because most of the roles there they are occupied by male folks, right? And he's trying to make sure that more women are working in there are more women occupying spaces in the company, and that's why that role is one of the it's one of the roles that he would specifically want a woman to occupy, right? And I was so happy, and I was like, oh, this is not it, that if I had forgotten that our last WID summit, he was also one of those who actually purchased tickets for women to attend the summit because he knew that it would be valuable to them. This is me just saying that these are also ways that as a man you can support the work of women. This is an organization, Womenpreneur, and I believe that they do a lot of activities. If you're a man, there's nothing stopping you if you have a woman close to you that you think that the programs that are being held here, like this summit, for example, if you know someone who this would be beneficial to, send a link to them, right? These are ways you are supporting. It's not even always about money. All these tiny recommendations, all of this tiny pushing the person to be better or to like participate in activities like this, these are also ways you're able to support more women in being a part of activities. And one more thing, there's a thin line between mentoring someone and trying to have that savior complex or savior mentality. Yes, I have seen that play out before, even within some of our programs, the way there was one of our program we did when we had a male mentor. We saw his attitudes to the ladies, and we had to tell him that no, you don't do that. Yes, you're a mentor, but that doesn't mean that you are saving. You're not saving any. You're not here to save anybody. You are here to mentor them for them to be better, right? Mind your language, the way you speak to ladies, the way you speak to people. Yeah, I just had to like add that to everything Daniel has already said regarding how males can support women in the space.
So I think I need to also thank you very much, Sarah. I need to add this part. So if you're a man on this call, and I don't know if there are how many men are here, please do not, and I'm begging you, do not try to sleep with any woman who is vulnerable for help or support. Don't do that. It is not, we don't do that here. It is not how we are brought up. Don't do that, because at the end of the day, you think you're trying to use them, but you only rubbish yourself. Because how many people do you want to sleep with? How many people do you want to give the job role? So let's also be careful. Let's be careful. Sarah, thank you so much for putting more insights on things I said, because I didn't want to say much because of time. Emphasis on this particular one, because I have had people come to me and say, "Sir, I will do anything." And I said, no, don't do anything. Send me your CV. If you fit into the role, fine. Like you said. So I had somebody reached out to me, a construction company who needed a social media manager, and I posted it on my WhatsApp status, and they said they needed a lady. And so many ladies reached out to me. I said, when you get there, tell the person Danzo sent you. And when after the interview, they came back and said, oh, it went well. Or I don't know who finally got the job, but they came back and gave me feedback. That means they treated them well. So if you're in a position to help people, Whether you are HOD in your church, you are line manager in your office, you are a leader in whatever forum, you just help women without attaching anything or expecting anything in return. That way, you have helped a whole lot of people and you have helped a generation. When you help one woman, you have helped a generation. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. Thank both of you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Daniel. That was such a beautiful panel session. One thing I would tell you guys from this point that everything they said summed up to. Daniel basically said, have value. And Sarah said, showcase your value. She talked about visibility, and Daniel was basically telling us you should have something of your own so that when somebody wants to help you, when somebody wants to support you, I think support is a better word. When somebody wants to support you, there would be substance. You can't help, they say heaven helps those who help themselves. You have to have something that we can hold on to. So she mentioned a lot of things, and there are a lot of women organizations that are doing that. There's basically like a lot, like womenpreneur. This is exactly what we're doing right now. We're exposing you to opportunities and information that not everybody has. I am pretty sure that if you have Sarah and Daniel put this thing in an ebook and sell it, people will buy it, but they're here. You're not charged to hear this. You're not charged any amount of money to listen to these things. So please take advantage of it. Add value to yourself, and then be publicly build. I agree with that 100%. So thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm looking at the comments and I'm not seeing any questions. I'm just seeing the fact that they're writing out the nuggets of everything that you were saying. So thank you so much for being a part of our panel for today. Thank you so much. We are so grateful to have had this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. Thank
So,
you, Kira.
thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Sarah. So, on to the next theme of events, onto the next agenda. We will be having a fireside chat. So I'll get in touch with. Please, you guys, are you guys still here? Like the comments, can you hear me? Can you guys still see me? Okay. So that's good. So now on to the next thing. We are going to be having our fireside chat with a wonderful person coming on here. See, you guys, don't make me don't remove the excitement in my body. I need you guys to engage as much as you can, and I hope that you guys are taking as much information as you can, because this is a big opportunity, and in this generation, whether you like it or not, information is power. The person that's ahead of you, what they have most of the time is experience and information that you don't have. A lot of opportunities out there that you don't know about, and even if you knew about them, you don't have it. That is why Womenpreneur is here for you. Womenpreneur is basically like opening you up to multiple opportunities to venture or to pivot into tech. There's different programs. We've been doing this since 2018. The different tracks that you could join: project management, product design, data analysis, web development. So much opportunities. Just reach out to our managers in the chat. So I would be moving on to the next. So would be having Adora Modo as to have a fireside chat. So I'll read her bio. Listen carefully so that you can pay as much attention, because these are not just people. These are people who have walked the walk and they've earned their respect. So listen carefully. So Adora Nwodo is a multi-award winning engineering leader and multi-published author working across cloud, AI, and developer experience. Her work focuses on building intelligent platforms, distributed systems, and scalable cloud infrastructure. She has authored 7 technology books with publishers such as Wiley O'Reilly and Kogan Page, and her writing appears in academic libraries at Harvard, Princeton, Drexel, and Georgia Tech. She's the founder of Nexascale, an initiative providing simulated work experience to thousands of early career technologists. And she speaks globally on cloud engineering, AI developer experience, and emerging technologies. So please, with a round of applause, welcome Adora Modo. Please let me see your applause in the chat. I'm still waiting for your applause in the chat. We have just welcomed Adora Modo. She just joined us. So I want to see your applause. Are you guys sleeping? Don't sleep. This is the wrong time to sleep. Welcome, Adora. Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
Hello. So thank you, Adora, for honoring our invitation. The floor is officially yours. Thank you. So onto the questions. I'll be going right into it. So our first question is, what was the hardest part of starting out and how did you push through it? Now, I want more details on it personally because I just read your bio and everybody listened to it. It was quite impressive. Like if I saw that on your LinkedIn, I would be sitting there for hours trying to make sure that I get as much information as possible. So please break it down as much as possible for us. So what was the hardest part of starting out and how did you push through it?
Hmm. Hardest part of starting out for me, I don't know. Like if I'm going to be very honest, like I can't directly answer that question because I just took life as it came, if that makes sense. Like I have a very traditional route into software engineering. I started coding as a child. I studied computer science. I graduated. I got my first internship before I graduated. I got my first internship. I finished the internship. I fought for a return offer. I fought to work there while I was a student in my final year, just so that I can have some sort of peace of mind that I have a job. Um, and then when I graduated, I literally just went back there. Um, so for me, in terms of like starting out, um, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I had like particular challenges or things that were different and all of that stuff because I just took the traditional route to tech, right? And I've always just been in that route. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling to answer this question.
No problem, no problem. So basically, you had a traditional route into tech. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. Um, so we know that you got your first computer at 6, and by the time most people are, and by that time, most people are choosing a university course. By the time people are choosing a university course, you already knew this was your path. But for a woman watching who is starting today in her 20s, 30s, or even later, does timing actually matter? Or is that just a story we tell ourselves?
Nothing matters. Like,
Hmm.
as far as you are alive and you're breathing, you have the opportunity to make any move that you want to make. The only person limiting yourself is yourself. People say things like, oh, I can't start this thing today. I can start this course or um go on this path to get this degree or do this thing that allows me to switch into technology or um software engineering or whatever because it's a 2-year program and I'm 35. By the time I'm done with it, I'll be 37. In 2 years, you'll be 37 anyway, regardless of whether you do it or not. And so it's important to like anything that you want to do. I tell people a lot, right? You can literally just wake up and do things. Nobody's stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. The biggest limitation you have is in your head. Obviously, there are maybe like certain jobs and certain roles that are for young people. Graduate training programs are for young people. Some certain kind of, beauty roles and jobs and all these kinds of things are for young people. Nobody really cares about your age as, someone that works in technology. Whether you work as a software engineer, you work in products, you work in go to market, or you are a developer advocate, nobody cares about the fact that you are 30 and above. I understand that obviously the older you get, the harder it is. We have to be very honest with ourselves. When you have family, when you start adding children, when a lot of things are not as flexible as they used to be once upon a time, right? I know that it's not as easy, but it does not make it impossible. What you can be thinking about doing is find models that work for you. Find ways for you to be able to do what you need to do that fits into your current life. For a lot of people, it could be going to like online only universities, right? Um, you could be taking online programs or flexible degree programs or joining virtual communities that require them to collaborate with people and build their skills and take up things during the weekend, because during the weekday they have to do their regular jobs and they have to take care of their kids or whatever it is, getting the help that you need. And the truth is, you also cannot do this alone, right? You need help, you need a community, you need a group of um what's this word? You need a support system, right? Whatever shape that support system comes in is honestly really left to you, your situation and your life and things like that. But you really do need a support system, right? And you don't like timing doesn't matter for anything. You can literally just wake up whenever you can, right? And decide that you want to start doing anything. The most important thing is to remove that limitation of yourself from your mind, because if you don't, right, you will struggle and you will be the one limiting yourself over and over and over again. So yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
That's beautiful. And I like the fact that you were honest about, yes, it might get harder, and you gave the reasons why it might get harder. So at any point you want to start, you need a community. I'm not even I'm picking that up personally because it is something that has helped me, even as a young person that's still building. I don't have children or any other thing that's holding me back. And I know that I have a community of women and womenpreneur that has helped my growth, that has helped my building journey. So thank you so much for that answer, Adora. So please, if you have questions, put them in the chat so that we can be as quick as possible. So answer the next question for you, Adora. You've done an MBA and an MSc in AI while working and running Nexaskill. I don't want anyone watching to think that they need all of that to start. So realistically, what's the actual minimum someone needs to begin a tech career today? The very barest minimum.
What's the barest minimum someone needs
What's the
to start
actual
with?
minimum someone needs to begin a tech career today?
Yourself and your brain. Like I don't know. Like to be honest, it's yourself and your brain. And maybe
Okay.
if I want to be a bit cheesy, I can say something like your heart or something like that. But like I know that, and I say your brain because there are a couple things involved here. Especially now, it is harder to get started in tech than it was 4 years ago, for example. The world has changed. Junior talent globally, and it's not just like it's not a Nigeria thing, like globally, you'd see people that have computer science degrees and like computer science bachelor's degrees from top universities in the world in the US, and they're just angry about the fact that they went and got the degree, right? Right now, right now, because of everything right going on in the world and how unstable AI has made a couple of things and layoffs and just a lot of all this craziness, it is a bit harder, but it is not impossible. I know people that have graduated from college, from university, that have gotten internships, that have started working in those internships. And some of them will receive return offers and will go back to certain companies. There's some people that will work in smaller companies. There are some people that will start their own. Like, there are many options at the end of the day. The most important thing is, are you building the right skills? And that's why I said it's you and your brain, right? Look at keep up with the industry reality, understand where things are going around data engineering, cloud engineering, artificial intelligence becoming a big thing, machine learning, right? Back in the day, knowing React was enough. Today, it is not. And so, just understanding that current, like, industry reality, grounding yourself in the real industry reality and thinking, okay, what do I need to do to single out myself? A lot of people build in public, make themselves visible, show their skills, right? And that's why I said, if I wanted to be cheesy, apart from saying you come with your brain, you should also come with your heart. Because putting your heart into it is what sets you apart from a lot of people that are waiting to be given opportunities. Because a lot of times when you put your heart into it, when you share yourself, when you provide value, when you give back to the community, whether it is through your time, through volunteering, through knowledge as a result of things you learn, right? You open up pathways for people to discover you and bring opportunities to your doorstep as opposed to you going to chase them. And now more than ever, because of how crazy, like I've said before, it is crazy. Like, I promise you, it is not crazy only in Nigeria. It is crazy everywhere in the world. It is crazy in the United States as well, right? I can speak to this, for example. Um, because of how crazy it is, the regular thing we did 2 to 3 years ago just doesn't work anymore. It is not okay to be quiet and invisible without any skills and somehow still getting these opportunities. And so you need to step up to, I'm not saying that you need to turn on camera and become a content creator overnight. No. But you need to give back to the community and you need to be visible about your giving. You need to produce value that everyone sees. And the funny thing is, you might think no one is watching or no one is seeing the value that you are creating. Maybe because on your LinkedIn, you only have 800 followers, right? Or 800 connections. But don't focus on the number. Like, somebody can have 100,000 followers on social media and it is not, like, it is nothing of substance. So let's not chase numbers, right? Somebody is always watching you, I promise you. And so putting yourself in that situation, showing your value, gives you that opportunity. I'll give you an example for myself. I think I've told this Microsoft story a lot, but I might just like give a short version of it, then go into another example that I think could be beneficial. I do a lot of building in public. I do a lot of announcing things. I don't only announce my wins, I announce my projects, my progress, and people see these things. And it has benefited me a lot in my life. And this is something that is still benefiting me today, right? Um, the first one was like, getting into Microsoft when I started my YouTube channel. I'm not saying that you should go and start a YouTube channel. Like, take the lesson from it and then implement it how it suits you best, right? When I started my YouTube channel, I was posting about, technology, all of this kind of stuff, right? And I was growing my channel. I most likely didn't have up to like 500 subscribers or something at the time. And I remember that on LinkedIn, the Microsoft recruiter reached out to me and was like that they're coming to Nigeria to hire engineers to start their engineering office. And they watch some of my videos, they like my videos, they see my LinkedIn and they see the skills I have. They believe that I would be a great fit to interview for the role, right? It made things easier for me. Why? Because I already was sourced, right? Like I was headhunted by a recruiter. So it was easy for my resume to get in front of the people that mattered. I did not have to apply and have my application be in the sea of millions of people that might not get interviews just because I was headhunted by a recruiter. And I was able to be headhunted because I was visible. First of all, the recruiter watched my YouTube videos, right? And let's say they didn't watch my YouTube videos, they will most likely still find me on LinkedIn. Why? Because I was visible on LinkedIn at the time. I was posting there. My LinkedIn was optimized with the right keywords. My skills were there. People could find me. I was discoverable. I did the I did the interviews, all of that, got the job, worked at Microsoft for 4 years, left. Another example, I wanted to start writing a book. And then I remember reaching out to my first publisher and getting unfortunately, we can't do this. And I went and wrote the book myself. I went and published it. My first book, Cloud Engineering for Beginners, was so successful that it got me international recognition. And this book was an ebook. Well, there was a physical copy. I ended up also publishing physical versions of the book on Amazon, printing out some of them in Nigeria, chasing roving heights to have my book in the bookstore. But like the main distribution channel for the book, because I also did not want to stress myself so much, the main distribution channel for the book was as a PDF ebook on Seller. That was it, right? This book, and I am not even joking, Seller invited me for a webinar based on this. This book sold over $15,000. And
Wow.
because it was so successful, I mean, one of the things that helped as well, that a lot of people were sponsoring the book for a lot of people. So somebody will reach out to me and say, "Oh, I have 1 million and I want to sponsor people to buy your book." So I was doing a lot of like, giveaways for the a lot of giveaways for the book were sponsored. And as I was doing those giveaways, other people were finding the book, buying it, reading it, liking it, buying it for other people. So like apart from organic sales from the book, there was also a lot of word of mouth, a lot of things that made the book go very far at that time, the sponsorships as well, the talks I was giving around cloud engineering that was referencing the book, and more people were finding it. Point is, one day randomly, I just woke up and I saw on my LinkedIn that someone like a publishing agency, I don't know if I can call it an agency, but basically a person that advocates for authors and has, I can call it an agency, I guess, and has links to a lot of publishers, right? Reached out to me and said, "Oh, if I'm willing to write a second book, they think they would know a good fit for me for a book deal, right? For writing my second book, blah, 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 blah." I reached out, I saw the options of like publishers that they worked with and they had, and I asked them, was Wiley going to be possible? Because this is the one that is catching my eye right now. Wiley is an international US publisher, by the way, just in case anybody is wondering on this call. Wiley is the publisher of most of your favorite books, your business books, your tech books, the biggest books you've seen. And it's a nice book deal because once you are writing with Wiley, you also get paid to write with them. Obviously, the payment is an advance. So as your book sells, they sort of like take money from how much you've paid you, and then once you've paid off, you know, the advance that you were paid, you now start to earn the royalties from your book. But the point is, if the book never sells, you've earned already anyway, right? Which is a good thing. And and then, in all of this, I got connected to Wiley. Wiley reached out. I gave a pitch for like myself, my skills, the kinds of things I'm open to writing about. They told me that hey, they're looking for someone that can write a book on Azure. This is what they want, blah 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 blah. And I wrote that book. That book literally opened Pandora's box because at that point, when I wrote that book and I published it, a different UK publisher, Kogan Page, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we see congratulations on the success of your first book and on the launch of your second. If you are ever opening to contributing to our Confident series, because they had like a list of things: confident DevOps, confident finance, confident UX design, confident product management. So they're looking for someone to write Confidence Cloud. And they were like, oh, if you're ever willing to contribute to our Confidence series, let me know. Would like to have a conversation with you. Just by doing one thing. I don't know if you can tell the chain of events that have happened
Yeah,
just
like it just
result
kept rolling
of
over, snowballing.
self-publishing and putting it out there and going to sleep regardless of what happens. So the point is everything is in your mind, right? You can choose to do things or you can choose to not do things. But the truth is, you should not let age be a hindrance. You should not let the absence of credentials. I don't have an MSc, I don't have an MBA. At this time, all I had was my bachelor's, by the way. This MSc and MBA that is being referenced, I just finished the master's degree. Well, I'm finishing the master's degree this summer, literally. I dropped my pen in quotes on Monday after doing my last assignment, which is going to be due next Friday. Opens on Monday. I'm just going to do it on Monday and be done and close the portal and know that I'm done with anything concerning this degree. I graduate this summer. My MBA, I'm graduating next year. I started this MBA last year, August. This master's of science that I'm about to finish, I started it um 2024 August. So it takes like, approximately 2 years to get a degree done in the United States. All of this I'm telling you about was happening in 2019, 2020, 2021. I did not have any of these degrees then. So I want you to understand that even at these degrees are as a result of me chasing a different kind of career path, right? Chasing leadership, chasing more technical knowledge in artificial intelligence because I want to break through into certain industries, or chasing academia because I want to contribute to academic research, whatever it is. But it does not have any say on where my career has gone and the things that have been happening to me. The final example I'm going to give is why you should put yourself out there, show up with your heart, right? And why the most important thing, the minimum thing that you need, is really your brain and your willingness to put yourself out there. And like I said, putting your heart into it. Recently, I wanted to like contribute to platform engineering conversations. I had given a talk in the platform engineering community in 2024 in their conference that they did in 2024. So I went to their website again, just scrolling, curious, trying to see if they have a conference for 2026 that I could apply to. And I noticed that they had an ambassador program. I think they had selected people for the conference because I didn't see anything about conference applications there. And so the thing is, sometimes you don't wait for things to come to you, you go and chase things. When the things that you are chasing don't work out, you even create your own things, your own initiatives. Womenpreneur was created by somebody. Nexa Skill was created by somebody. Piggyvest was created by somebody, right? And so if you are trying to get a community or collaboration opportunity at Nexa Skill or Womenpreneur and it's not working for you, there's no reason why you cannot start your own. If you try to get a job at Piggyvest and that doesn't work, there's no reason why you cannot start your own. I would use Tosin Olasende as an example, Oluwatosin Olasende as an example. I don't know how many people know her, the founder of Money Africa. She literally started Money Africa by teaching people finance on Instagram, opening her camera, placing it on the table, sitting down in front of it, and talking about finance and posting it. Today, Money Africa is a finance app where people can save money and invest and also learn about their finance and how to improve their finances. She started it by teaching on Instagram. She might have applied to these big banks. She might have applied for something finance related and she might have not gotten it. So the point is, consistency is what makes everything different. Consistency is literally what can change your life. Consistency got me my current job as a senior manager in an AI company. My current job was gotten by consistency. I did not apply. They emailed me. They found me. We had a conversation. We liked each other and they gave me an offer. Apart from the fact that I did not apply, I did not send a CV. You know, sometimes you will not apply, they'll email you, and the next thing they'll tell you is, please send your
And the
CV so
CV.
that we can put you in the process. And I did not send a CV. They just wanted me, right? And obviously, you always have to go through interview stages. You will talk to people, but there are some interviews that feel like conversation, not interviews. Because at that point, what you people are doing is vibe check. If people are not checking if this person can do the job, they know you can do it. They've seen the job you've done before. It is about understanding, okay, let me introduce the team to this person. Do they like her? Does she like them? Let's bring the CEO and introduce the CEO to this person. Does he like her? Does he feel good about her? Does she feel good about the company based on the questions that she has asked him? Is she willing to join us? How do we want to proceed? I did not share a CV. And I'm currently leading two of their high impact engineering organizations today, just because I have done different things that have made me discoverable. So I would always say it. I will not tell you that the smallest thing you need is a particular skill, because the skill can be, especially with the way AI is, the skill can be obsolete in 17 months. The skill can be useless in 12 months, because that skill can now be something that Claude
Yeah.
Code can generate for you. But the biggest thing you can come in with is that determination, that grit, that willingness, right? And like I said, your brain, because whatever it is that you are doing, find ways to apply it into the current industry reality. Find creative ways to share that thing. Create opportunities for yourself, create value, contribute to open source projects, build side projects, share them online. Share about the things that you are learning. Just let people find you. Contribute value consistently. And that is what sets you apart from, a lot of people.
Thank you so much, Adora. Thank you so much. I got a lot from this one question that I asked you, and I like the part where you talked about not waiting for the don't not thinking about the exact timing, because whether you start now or you don't start, in the next 2 years you're still going to get to that age. So it's either you're getting to that age with that degree or that master's, or you're getting to that age with nothing to
Without
show for it. Exactly. So thank you so much. So I'm going to be moving on to another question. So you've written 7 books. Wow, mind blowing. You've written 7 books and they're now used in universities like Harvard and Princeton. What's the very first thing you've ever built or wrote that nobody you ever, no, that nobody but you ever saw before any of this? The first thing you built, or like your maybe a book or something you started that you never really showed anybody.
I've been writing for quite a long time. I started writing in high school, actually, and some of the things I wrote used to get published at the time in a UK anthology. I used to write very short stories, and I used to write poems, and they used to get published in a UK anthology. Obviously, some of them will get published, some of them will not. But I used to write a lot. Like in a term, I could write up to 5, and like maybe 2 will get published, right? So I have a lot of like things that have been published as far back as that. The first thing I ever wrote was a bio of myself that nobody saw or read or anything like that. The first thing I ever wrote was a bio of myself as a child. I wrote my first bio, right? I think at that time we used to call it composition or whatever. But I wrote things about myself, right?
Yeah.
And I typed it out and I printed it. And my dad saw it. and he laminated it and just kept it in the house. Like up till today, it is still in his room because that is the first artifact that came from my brain to a finished product that somebody can hold that is not assignment, right?
Yeah.
So, and after that point, I started creating things as well. I used to build a lot of projects that would never see the light of day. Some of them I would use for my personal self. For example, I built a calculator as a child that I used to use because tell me how you would give your child a computer, but you won't give them a calculator, right? And so I created my calculator. Thank you. I don't need your scientific calculator anymore because I have mine now. I created my calculator, right? I programmed my calculator, and then when I have a math assignment, I would use it to check if everything I had done was correct. So I'll go to school and I'll be getting 10, and everybody will be clapping for me. And I'll be happy because of the thing that I built that was actually helping me be successful,
Yeah.
right? So that was like one personal artifact. I think another one that nobody ever saw. I did build like a couple. I built a lock, like a mobile, an Android app that can lock certain things, right? So if I wanted to lock a certain image that I didn't want people to see without typing a password, it was called Crypt, like cryptography, but the crypt was with a key, right? I built it with a couple people in my class at the time in Unilag. So basically, I can have that app installed on my phone, and I can use Crypt to lock certain images, certain artifacts that I did not want people to see. So if you actually open my gallery, an image that I have locked will not preview. It will show a padlock sign. And then if you want to unlock it, right, you have to unlock it and put the password. So it's like encrypting the basic things from people because anybody can pick up your phone and see whatever,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I've done a couple things, but I think these are just like, the couple ones that I can share from like very, very, very early on.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Imagine having to create that's iconic behavior. Creating your own calculator because why aren't you giving me a certificate? It's iconic behavior. Like, don't worry, I'll program mine.
Don't worry, I'll program mine. Yeah, obviously my parents did not know because that was the whole point of it, right?
Yes.
And they'll tell you, oh, when you're in primary 4, you can't have a calculator. It's too
Yeah.
early. And but then I have computer at home. Hello,
Hello.
right? And so yeah,
That
that was it.
was lovely. That was iconic. So on to the next question. You guys, I don't know about you on the chat. Are you picking these up? Are you picking these up? Because after this, I'm going to go and sign up for my masters. I'm not even wasting time anymore.
There's no
So
reason why
okay,
you should. You shouldn't.
exactly. Thank you. Thank you. So the next question is you built Nexascale specifically to give people simulated work experience. What was the exact gap you saw? Is it that people who had skills but couldn't get in? Was that the gap you saw that made you like? What was the gap you saw that made you, that motivated you, that moved you to build Nexus Skill?
The gap I saw was a lot of people having theoretical knowledge and not practical knowledge that made the difference, right? And so you need experience to get a job, but you also need a job to get experience. What happens when you have skills but you don't have experience? How do you break through? Right. And so creating these opportunities, our apprenticeship programs, partnering people with companies or having them work on um like personal Nexa skill projects was just sort of like a win for us. And then all of the things around like the hackathons that we do and all of those things, that was the biggest thing. The biggest thing that I was seeing at the time was like the same group of people applying for all the boot camps. Like, so you've done a Udacity course, you've learned about front end development, you're on Coursera again, you're on Udemy again, you're taking another boot camp again because it feels like progress to you, when real progress is learning by doing. So one of the things that I wanted to do was create that environment. And also the tech communities at the time were very focused on community, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? But they were focused on community, they were focused on training, Nobody was focused on execution and learning by doing. Now a lot of people are even in their community programs baking in, programs for execution and learning by doing, because now that is where we've got into as an industry. But at that time, that wasn't the case, and so I created Nexa Skills to be that thing that helps people execute, basically. So it's like, if you are, part of our programs, a lot of the programs we drive are for people to come and use their hands to build things, whether it's the hackathons that we sponsor, or the hackathons that we create, or the apprenticeship programs that we do. The only program that is not a learning by doing program is the one we do for young girls, because we need to sensitize them first about tech careers before we can start telling them to come and build things in labs, right? Um, but a lot of all our programs are centered around execution, learning by doing, giving you proof of the skills that you have, right? And helping you get those skills into the right hands, sometimes into the right companies that maybe you've partnered with through us or whatever it is. And so that was what led to doing that. Just being able to give people proof, so that a lot of people that are jumping from boot camp to boot camp actually have tangible value and tangible progress that is not certifications.
Yeah, that is beautiful. So like I can completely relate with the idea of jumping from Udemy to Coursera. That was me at some point. I wanted progress so bad. So any opportunity where I'm seeing that okay, there's something to learn, until I started hearing about job simulations. I'm like, there are things like that. What do you mean? Where has this information been? So if you've not heard it, you guys reach out at Next Scale and get real progress. So thank you, Adora, for that question. The next question is let's talk about money. So, for a moment, let's talk about money because that matters to everybody watching. At what point in your career did tech genuinely start changing your financial life, and what did that shift feel like?
At what point did tech start changing my financial life? Honestly, very recent. Um, I have, because of how I grew up, and also because of what Nigeria is, right? All of the times, like my past, the longer part of my career right now has been spent in Nigeria. And I have spent all of that time earning naira. And so that hasn't changed my, like, my status of living, right, in any way, right? That didn't really affect the conditions of my living, because to give myself, right, the same amount of comfort that my parents gave me would have required spending a lot of money that I did not have, right? If that makes sense. Um, but one thing that my career helped me do regardless was it made me liquid, regardless of whether I was able to give myself that standard of living, right? And to be honest, my parents are what they're they've built their entire careers. And so when they are putting me in a house with cars and access to help and access to all these things, they've earned it over the years. I'm just starting, right? So I don't want to leave that comfort, but that also helped me start thinking about things to do with my money. I started saving. I started investing. I started growing my money. I started doing things with my money, giving people my money. When I say giving people, I mean either investing in movies or investing in businesses that I believed in. Some of them will do well, some of them will not. That's how investments are. Or investing, in stocks directly, or investing in real estate through, like, all of these apps that exist. But the point is, I started investing, right? And just like growing my money from there, because now I had disposable income to be able to do that. That is what my tech career did for me. But in terms of standard of living, it literally started when I moved here, because now I was earning big money enough to, you know, stay in the kind of apartment that gives me the level of comfort that I used to get at home, right? Drive the kind of car that I want, be able to buy myself the gifts that just, sometimes make me feel like, I bought myself this thing. I'm so proud I was able to buy this for myself, right? So that only really started recently. And that is not a function of your career, is a function of geography, right? And that one is nobody's fault. But there are a lot of people, right, still building tech careers in Nigeria that can do what I did while I was there, right? There's some people paying black tax. Yes, let's not dispose that. But people that also pay black tax, I think if you interview them, they will tell you that you should apportion only a fraction of your salary to that black tax. And anytime that fraction finish, you finish. Don't go broke at the mess, like trying to be at the mercy of other people or trying to save other people. You should still think about what you should do for yourself and for your growth. So in that light, right, regardless of your geography, you can still create disposable income for yourself that goes into things that better your future. When I moved to England first before I moved to the US. When I moved to England, before I got there, I remember that one of my close friends was going to be my roommate. At that time, she was a student, right? And so, if you know the way it works in England, the kind of apartments we wanted to stay in, they were not going to rent it to her because they were busy asking her, "What do you earn as a student? How can you live here?" So I just told her, "Should I print and share my bank statements?" They were like, "Oh no, that won't be necessary, blah blah blah." So I just told her, like, tell them that I'm going to be, like, I'm part of this application, because apparently here you have to apply for a house. Tell her, right? Tell them that I am part of this application. Initially, they were still raising shoulders, saying, "Oh no, we are not doing this, we're not doing that." And I told them, "Okay, tell them that I'm willing to give them 6 months' rent." Typically, everybody pays rent in this country monthly
Monthly.
because rent is expensive, right? Tell them I'm willing to pay 6 months' rent in advance to show our commitment to this place. As soon as the landlady heard that, nobody is going to hear that somebody is giving you 5 months of extra cash and you will not agree. Why was I able to pay 6 months' rent in pounds while working and earning naira? Because I had disposable income and I had spent a lot of my time building that income through investments, savings, and return on my savings. Right? So you can do the same for yourself. It might not be as big as, and as lofty where you can now start doing the big things or the luxurious things. Like I said, this only started for me like 1 or 2 years ago, right? But for you that you are still there, you can do, you can be intentional about keeping a fraction of your money away and genuinely finding ways to grow that money. Whether you are downloading a bunch of all these finance or fintech apps that give you return on your money, or whether you are giving people that are building businesses that money directly, right, as some sort of investor. There are opportunities to grow your money, and you should just do them because that is what will change your life.
That is insightful, very insightful. I like the fact that you talked about black tax because it's the reason a lot of young people are not really going anywhere, even as much as they're making a lot of money. They don't have anything to take home at the end of the day because by the time you're done paying black tax, there's a lot, like you're just stuck at the same position. It's like you're living hand to mouth all over again. So thank you very much for answering that question. So on to the next question. We're almost done. So if a woman watching today has a full-time job that has nothing to do with tech and only 1 hour a day to give this, what would you tell her actually to spend that hour doing?
If she has a full-time job that has nothing to do with tech,
Yeah.
many of the jobs today have something to do with tech. You just need to find that. Sometimes you might not be seeing what you should be seeing because you're not looking in the right place. Many of the jobs that people are doing today have something to do with tech one way or another. So sometimes, even in your office, find those tech opportunities since you might not be able to, because 1 hour a day is good, though, right? Don't get me wrong. But your progress will be slower, right? So maybe you should even spend that 1 hour building, like sharing all of the stuff that you've been able to do, building yourself externally in public. But whatever job that you have, even if it is a job you have as an accountant, there are ways to tie technology into it, right? You can come and talk about Claude Finance as an accountant, AI models, what they are doing in the space in finance, right? If you are a project manager, you can come and talk about tools that you are using, like AI tools that you are using that are improving how quick you do project management. And then you can now start to learn about, using different AI agents and LLMs to improve your output as a PM. You can vibe code a tool one day that can even save you time because you vibe coded that tool. You've created automation for yourself. Now, something that maybe should take you 3 hours now takes you 30 minutes. You've even bought 2 hours, 30 minutes more for yourself that you can pour back into your self development, right? So the point is, the world of today does, even healthcare, the world of today doesn't have, except you're a bricklayer, like, except you are doing a blue collar job, right? A job that requires handwork, if you get what I mean. But if you have a job that puts you in front of a laptop, even if you are not programming, there is a tech adjacent version to that job. Find it, explore it, let that be your entry into certain things, and then just build from there. Because it's easier to do it in that way than for someone to start saying, oh, go and learn a programming language, go and do this new thing, go and do that new thing. It's going to be very difficult, right? Because that's not your area, right? So you can do it in an area that is already your area, an area that you already have skills in, right? And then you do the tech adjacent version of that area and just like start and build from there.
That's beautiful. Can you hear me, Adora?
Yes, I can hear you. You were frozen for a minute
Okay.
there, but I can see and hear
Yes,
you.
you too. You were closer for a little. The last question is, so you mentioned recently getting a director offer that was rescinded before you were meant to start, and you still called it a big win. Now, a lot of women watching has had a door have had a door close on them right when it seemed open. How did you actually process that, and why did you still count it as a win?
If I'm being very honest, I didn't initially take it very well. I cried for days. It's very normal. You grieve, right? It's like somebody was about to put food in your hand and they collected it, right? If you had been smelling that food since when they were cooking it, you will cry. And I did cry, right? I think the host has left the call, but I'm just going to keep speaking.
I
Okay.
didn't leave the call. I think it was from the other end.
Okay,
I'm here.
okay. And I did cry for a second there, right? I cried for days. Sometimes I will be working, I will sit down on the floor in my living room and I'll just start crying, right? But then at some point, I had to pick myself up. I remember talking to my dad, I spoke to my brothers, and they told me, this is the first opportunity that you are getting. There's more where that came from. What this means is that you have unlocked this level. What this means going forward is that there are many more jobs that you will get now at this. This is now the level that you are at. So if you did not know it before, know it now. This is your level. Now you will get a lot of more jobs at this level, and then you can start building and growing from there. And so why I took it as a win, even if the offer was pulled back, was because I've unlocked the level. That one is not something you can take from me. I did the interviews. I passed. You liked me enough to
Exactly.
extend an offer. Now, for
Yeah.
whatever um things beyond my control, whether related to HR, whether related to layoffs or company politics or budgeting, I couldn't come onto the job anymore. That one is your problem. It's not mine. My own problem is that I have validated that this level is now something I have unlocked. So what this means for me and why I see it as a big win is that I did not get this one, no problem. I'll get the next one. I'll get the one after that. And so
Yeah.
that's why it's a win for me as opposed to thinking about it as a loss. Is it a loss as well? Yes, right? You lost
Yeah.
something, right? I lost
Agree.
something. But the truth is, I was initially thinking that it's better that they had rejected me. Like, it's better I went through that process and they rejected me than for them to give me the offer and received. And now I'm thinking about it, there's something that offer has done to me.
Yes.
That offer has rewired my brain to let me know that this is my level, this is possible. If they rejected me, I would have still been thinking on the level of like a senior manager. That's what I would be thinking. That's what would have been in my head. I wouldn't have had the audacity to be in conversations with directors of engineering, to have director of engineering conversations, to teach directors of engineering. I was recently on an O'Reilly leadership um like webinar that they do every Tuesdays. I think 2 Tuesdays ago, I was their guest and I was teaching concepts that directors can apply in their jobs. I wouldn't have known that I can do that if I did not get that offer. If people did not see me and say, "Oh, this girl is now performing at this level," it means you have things to share. Come and share it with us. And so for
Yes.
me, it is a win because I know that a job title is a job title. It will come eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I have now unlocked a certain level that I did not know I was already at before I got that offer. So for me, that is why it's a win because I see this as yes, it closed the door to that job, but it opened the door, it opened my brain to find more opportunities in that space. And it will
Level.
also eventually open another door to another job someday. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a win for me.
Wow, that's beautiful. So the very last question is AI is moving so fast right now that a lot of women feel like they've already missed the window before they've even started. So what would you say to that fear, honestly?
That fear is in your head because everybody in the industry right now feels like they've missed one window or another. But people still try and fix themselves in wherever they can. A lot of all these tools exist. If you missed the very beginning when people have talked about prompt engineering. Then they've gone into MCP. Then they were talking about harnesses earlier this year. And now people are talking about loop engineering. There's been a whole basically if you sit down for like 1 week, a new interesting thing about AI has come on board. So if you feel like you are missing out and you are like it has gone too deep, why can't you start from where it currently is? Learn the fundamentals, at least understand what an AI agent is, understand what an LLM is. You understand? Plug in so that you can understand the fundamentals and you can understand the architecture. Now, all of the prompt engineering, harness engineering, all of those things that they were talking about in 2025 that are still relevant to a certain degree, but now there are new things that are relevant. Focus on the currently relevant things and then just move on from there. Join AI engineering boot camps. Right. I know one of my mentees, she's currently doing some AI engineering bootcamp or so. Every week she posts her takeaway from the bootcamp on her LinkedIn as a way to just like build in public to let people know that she's currently building that skill. And it's working for her. Right. So there are lots of things that you can do to get yourself to that point. Just do it. Do you get what I mean? Like it's really we overthink a lot of things a lot of times. It's really not that deep. You want to contribute to AI, right? You want to learn about AI, you feel like it's moving too fast. Everybody feels it's moving too fast. Find a particular place and just start from there. Just get into the conversation any way you can. If you want to start from becoming very current and then ignore every single thing that has happened from the very beginning up until yesterday, fine, go and do that. If you identify that there's a particular place that gives you peace that you want to start from and then build up from there, go and do that as well. But what you should not do is tell yourself that a lot has happened and as a result you will not get involved, because you are doing yourself a disservice just by doing that.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Adora. Like I'm loaded. And beyond this session, I'm going to find you on LinkedIn. I'm going to find you on LinkedIn because I think it would be such a sight to behold as how much you've built over the years. And thank you so much. The information you gave is not something that we can just find anywhere. It's something that comes from your own personal experiences, and there was so much to learn right from how you started your masters and the things that happened leading up to it. And I think the most inspiring thing I heard was, taking that rescinded offer as a win, because I've had a similar experience. You might have not gotten it, but the fact that you passed to that level, like you passed the interview, you got it. It means that you are actually on that level.
Yes.
And yes, and if you look at it from another angle, you could say that probably I'm big on God, so I'm going to use this. It's probably God telling you that, okay, I just wanted you to see that you're playing small. So now your mind is open to bigger opportunities. Now you know that you can actually talk to directors. So you're no longer just at the senior manager level, you're actually there at the top.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were still looking at it like, oh, maybe, oh, I'm still a senior manager. When I get, you're there already. And this is just something that whenever you look at it, you'll be like, if I can get this, I can get something much better. Thank you so much, Adora. It was a pleasure having you. And I want to ask them if they have questions. Please, if you have questions, it should already be in the chat because I told you guys earlier, we do not have time to wait for you to type. So I believe your questions, the questions that I asked you already like answered all of their questions. So thank you so much, Adora, for joining us. It was such an honor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for making out time. I'm aware that you're just waking up. You're in the US. You're just waking
I
up.
am just waking up. I
Thank you.
joined this at 7 a.m. I've
Wow.
been here for an hour now, so it's literally 8:11. After this, I'm going back to sleep.
Wow, thank you so much for making out that time. We're so grateful. So thank you so much, Adora. You can go back and complete your rest. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Adora. Bye. Please, round of applause as she leaves. So, guys, I'm back with you. It has been such an interesting session. It has been such an interesting session. Please, Adora, can you see? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. They picked so much. There's so much. So back to us. We are running. In fact, we've run out of time. But the most important thing is that this session has been able to open you up to information that you did not have before, and that I'm exactly sure that you would have paid for somewhere else to get it. Now we've heard add value, build value. We've heard all of that. We've heard it all from all the speakers in different patterns and different tones and languages. They've said all the same thing: build value, start from somewhere. And that is exactly why Womenpreneur exists. Womenpreneur has been doing this since 2018, and they've trained over 5,000 women. And as much as I'm a product of Womenpreneur, I'll also tell you that it is the best decision I ever made to be a part of their cohorts. Now, currently, cohort 10 is ongoing, and our student success manager will be in the chat if um, you need assistance on getting as much information as you would need. They'll be in the chat box sending you the links and replying to your questions. But basically, I'm trying to say that all of this is to point you to a direction where you actually get the momentum you need to start. It all starts from taking the first step. And the first step I would tell you is taking a course. So there are tracks that our core 10 registration is currently ongoing, and the tracks are project management, product design, product management, project management, product management, product design, data analysis, and web development. So, like I said, there'll be more information in the chat box. And Women has been doing this for a long time, and you've had access to these people. You've had access to these people, and They did not get to where they are by wondering if they really wanted to start or if it's something they should just. They started by taking the first steps and building up from scratch, taking an opportunity, seeing an opportunity and grabbing it as it is. And that is exactly what I'm encouraging you to do. As I speak, the links are already in the chat. Click on those links, make your inquiries, start your registration. And the best part of all of this is that they're currently running a 90% scholarship. That's basically you getting the skills you need to move on to the next level for free. And I'll give you a breakdown of what the program looks like. So you register, and then once the courses begin, you'll be working with, you have your classrooms, and the classes are live, just the way like we had our live session. It's going to be live classes you're going to be having with your tutors on the different tracks depending on the tracks that you've taken. And now during the project, during the program, you get to work on a boot camp. There's a boot camp, you get to work on a project, a live project. You're actually going to build something that will end up in your portfolio. As you There was something I enjoyed about a very last speaker, Adora. She started building a portfolio as little as much as it's not documented, but as little as when she started built that calculator, that was the first thing she built. But that is actually a portfolio. If you're looking for, okay, when did you start? She started as little as then. We're starting now, and Womenpreneur is giving you the opportunity that at the end of the day, you're not just going to learn about you're not just going to be on theory, because that was something Adora said too. You're not just going to be working on the theoretical aspect. Oh, I know how to be a project manager. I know this. They taught me this. If they ask you what this is, you can tell what it is. But the actual, like actually putting it into practice, practicalize everything that you've learned. Womenpreneur also gives you that opportunity because you will work, you will build, and you will present what you've built, and it must work. That is how intense it is. And for a program like this, an opportunity like this to be on 90% scholarship at such a time, I think this is the best time to milk the opportunity and add value. And I also remember what Danzo said about before you can get any support from anybody, basically, you need to have value of your own. And this is us selling it to you. This is how you add value to yourself. This is how you build value for yourself. This is how you learn the things. And you're not just taking a course, you're building your portfolio. Because I am not joking when I tell you that at the end of the day, you're going to build something. So when you register and you're taking the classes, don't take it as, oh, after this, I'm just going to get a certification. No, there are people who take this course and they expect that, oh, we just go. It's intensive. Your attendance is um, mandatory because Womenpreneur functions with excellence. You have to be able to deliver on what you say you've learned. So we don't just give theoretical aspects where you can know. You build something. You have a team of project managers, product designers, and I'm giving you what to expect from the program. So there's so much to benefit from it, and I really am grateful to be a part of this because if you look around, there's so much drawbacks. There's been so much drawbacks for women in the tech space, but this our generation is opening up multiple opportunities, and I want you to grab it. I want you to take that step today as I speak. Just click on the link. Like that's basically like the first step. The link is sitting right there looking at you. Just click on the link and move onto the registration. So thank you guys so much. It was such a pleasant time we've had for 2 days. We had Ashley, we had Danzo, we had Sarah, we had a lot of wonderful people, wonderful influential people come here to teach us about tech, wealth, and influence. And if I were you, whatever notes I have from this, I would keep it, and it would be like what I use to remind myself of where I'm headed. Because you see these people and you're expecting, they're young people, they're like you and me, they're young people. They've just taken their time to build in their own space, and they've built wealth, built a community of people who believe in what they do because they are good at what they do. So take everything that you've learned and put it into action. Thank you guys for joining. today. It was such a wonderful session. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for having been a part of it for these 2 days. And please, if you know you enjoyed both sessions, put it up on the comment section. I'd like to see them. If you know you've enjoyed these 2 days, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that you've enjoyed these 2 days. Please, can I see it in the comment section? Okay. Okay. Thank you, JJ. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you guys for being in attendance. And like I said, click on the links and get started. And I'll see you guys at the top. My name remains Chira Sylvia, and I've been your host for today. I'll see you guys next time. And I might not see you in the classroom, but I'll see you in the womenpreneur community. Thank you so much for being in attendance. Goodbye, everybody.